George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is it's a beautiful Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's just sort of check out the old temperature here real quickly. Let's go with 83 degrees, which is kind of what you would expect in the middle of September. Got a good show for you today. Mike Organ at 3:20. Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee at 4 o'clock. And then our buddy Garen Hoskins from the Metro Nashville Police Department will join us. Tomorrow is 9/11. Think about this, 24 years ago. Man, that is hard to believe. Let's go to Murfreesboro and say hello to former NFL quarterback Kelly Holcomb. Kelly, how are you?
Good, George. How you doing?
Good. When you hear that 24 years ago, where were you when it happened?
I was playing for the Cleveland Browns, and I was in there talking to a guy. I just left Indianapolis, and I was talking to a guy that was there, and all of a sudden they came over the news because it was on a Tuesday. It was on my day off, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. It was kind of crazy. And then the second plane hit, and then there was one that flew over. There was one that flew over Cleveland, I guess that Shanksville, Pennsylvania plane or whatever, and it was like chaos everywhere. People trying to get their kids. You kind of knew then that what was going on was not that was not an everyday occurrence. Something was happening, and it felt like somebody was attacking our country. And my wife was like, she was frantic because my kids were young and they were in school, and she went and got them. So it was it was kind of a crazy day, man. I just can't even imagine being at ground zero.
I remember that day I made the decision, we're not talking sports. Nobody's got the appetite for it. And we were on, I want to say, from 3 to 6. And we opened up the phones and just let people talk. And, man, you talk about some raw emotion. Man.
Yeah.
And
it was, man. It was a deadly day in our history, man. I can't believe, there's evil in the world and people don't understand that. And then, we come together as a nation, but then we go apart just as soon as, I don't know. It's weird how human nature is, man. It really is. But it shouldn't take something like that to bring us all together. And then we're patriotic and then we just go apart again. I don't know, man. There's things in your life like the Kennedy assassination or when the Challenger exploded. I remember when that happened when I was in junior high.
Right.
And then 9/11. It's some of those events that, it kind of shapes the way the world is, and you remember everything about it.
Billy, I know you're too young to remember it. One of the things that I remember, Billy McCaffrey's brother, Ed McCaffrey, Denver Bronco wide receiver, broke his leg the night before in the Monday Night Football game, gruesome injury. And that's really the last sports thing I remember because I want to say it was 9:15, 9:30 the next morning when all this starts to go down. And I remember when the second plane happened of saying, oh, wait a minute, this is not just an accidental thing. This is for real.
How long was, like you said, you didn't talk sports that day. What about the next, how long was that period of, just kind of shock?
We kind of did a little bit. Most of the games that were scheduled that week were bagged. MLB did a smart thing. They didn't play for about 10 days. College football, if I remember correctly, didn't play that Saturday. Tennessee, Florida were scheduled, and they played first weekend in December. What I do remember is that it was the hardest sports talk week I've ever had because there was no sports talk, basically, and there really shouldn't have been.
Right.
Our country was at war, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I can remember too. The NFL canceled all their games, which that never happens, and we canceled all our games. And I just remember the next week, Earl Little and all those guys bringing out the flag, and I mean that was an emotional Sunday. That was an emotional time in your life, and they shut the NFL down, and then the next week, man, the emotions were raw, like you talked about, George. And I just remember being on the sideline and crying, because
Mm.
the loss of life is just senseless, and things like that. Just I don't you don't understand it, but it just shows you that there's evil in the world. There's evil here, and sometimes things like that happen, man. It's awful, but it brings people together. And I just remember Earl Little and all those guys bringing that flag out, and there was no dry eye in the whole stadium.
Right. The on the baseball front, the first big game out of the chute was Atlanta at the Mets in a really emotional deal where Mike Piazza hit a game-winning homer, and Chipper Jones said it. This is one night I don't feel bad about losing. New York City needed that so badly. And, of course, President Bush throwing out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium when the Yankees made the World Series, that was a pretty special moment. Supposedly, before the game started, the president it looks like you're throwing it, 400 yards if you're not used to that. And apparently, Derek Jeter ran into the president before the game and was like, "Don't screw this up."
No pressure.
Yeah. So Garen's going to talk to us tomorrow night. There will be a big ceremony out at First Horizon, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about what's going to go on there. Help me. Where's Terry?
Well, I texted Terry because I did send him a link, but haven't gotten an answer back from him yet.
Okay.
So.
Terry wants a day off, George.
Well, I can honestly say I don't blame him.
He's tired of dealing with us.
Yeah, let's go update first, and if he joins us, we'll get him in here.
All right, time for the update brought to you by Football Night in Nashville. Continues this Thursday. Commanders and Packers.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, gosh. This week's gone by fast.
It has. And Billy, I want to remind everybody that goes in tomorrow night, make sure and get my attention to get you one of those registration slips. We're going to give away about a $15,000, $16,000 golf cart on Thursday night, December the 18th. And all of you who register to win, you got a chance to win.
Quite a few registered last time.
Oh, my God. With sort of a green tint, if you will.
Yeah, EAGLES.
EAGLES. Very much so.
Well, obviously got a lot of football going on with college and the NFL, but we have some baseball news. Former Cubs All-Star Anthony Rizzo is returning to the organization as an ambassador for the club and will retire as a Cub during an on-field ceremony at Wrigley Field before Saturday's game against the Rays. 36 years old, played 14 years in the league, including a decade with the Cubs, where he made 3 All-Star teams, won 4 Gold Gloves, world title in 2016. Crazy, he had been in the league now for 14 years, and he's up to 36 years old.
This is a good move. He is beloved in Chicago, and he was one of the leaders of the team that broke their World Series curse.
Yeah.
And when you hear, at the end of the game, that song, Go Cubs Go, that started in 2016. And
that's when it started?
Yeah, they started doing it then. I remember that year as they got into postseason, I couldn't get that dadgum song out of my mind. And I'd be, Go Cubs, go.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was part of that group with Bryant and who was their shortstop on that team?
Oh gosh.
But that whole group ended up getting traded away basically after winning the world title.
That didn't go over real well. Jason Hayward was part of that.
Yeah.
They won Game 7 in Cleveland after a rain delay in the 9th inning. A bizarre evening. And, you had Cubs fans going to beloved people's graves, people going to Harry Carey's grave.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there, they probably heard "Let me hear you."
Man. So you've got that
George,
Rizzo calling it a career.
George, you got a memory like an elephant, dude. You're 80 years old and got a memory like an elephant.
First of all, Kelly, I'm not 80. And
you're getting there.
That.
Hey, you're knocking on the door, Hoss.
Wow. Thank you. That's really encouraging.
Yeah, it's very heartwarming from Kelly. We've also got some NFL news. There were a few reasons why the number one NFL TV analyst started getting paid like top players at the beginning of the decade. Back in the COVID year, Tony Romo signed a 10-year, $180 million contract with CBS. That changed the game for broadcasters. Shortly after, Troy Aikman signed an $18 million per season ESPN salary, and Tom Brady signed a $375 million monster deal with Fox through 2034. But the road to all this, it was aided by Tony Romo and CBS's failure to have a backup plan for Tony Romo. That's why J.J. Watt in his debut on Sunday during the Steelers win was so intriguing. And apparently there was a good piece written by Andrew Marchand on The Athletic. Apparently he showed a lot of potential because I didn't even realize this Tony Romo contract mistake do-over. I know we had probably talked about it, but I had totally forgotten about that. But J.J. Watt apparently could be the next Tony Romo. Who knows?
J.J.'s pretty good.
He did do good, man. I was surprised. I didn't even realize that was him, but he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. The money has gotten a little out of hand, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah. We do have Terry, but we do have another quick piece of news I wanted to get to. Missouri backup quarterback Sam Horn underwent successful surgery this morning in Columbia to repair a fractured tibia in his right leg. He will be out for the rest of the season. So it'll be Bo Prabula time for the rest of the year for the Tigers. He did play really well against Kansas.
So they got to keep him healthy.
Yes. Yeah. And there's another college basketball gambling violation. Maybe we can get to a little bit later.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it'll be a biggie.
It'll be big.
Let's check in with Terry McCormick. He of Main Street Media. He as in TitanInsider.com. Terry, what's the big word today?
Well, 4 guys not on the practice field during the open part of practice, and 2 of them pretty important. J.C. Latham, who's dealing with a hip injury, and Tavondre Sweat also did not practice. Quandre Diggs and Khalil Mullins, rookie running back, who sprained an ankle in the game Sunday, re-injuring it, also not on the practice field during the open session. Trevor?
Yeah, that's not really good news, is it?
No. I mean, I think Latham is the one you had. Brian Callahan said it after the game that, and on Monday that he's the one that they're kind of concerned about as to whether or not he's going to be able to, make it through the week and get healthy and go. So that's something certainly to monitor throughout the remainder of the week, because they really do need him out there if at all possible.
Terry, how concerned do you think they are? The first half, things went pretty darn good for that offensive line, but in the second half, it cratered.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly, there were some mitigating factors. Denver stepped up and stopped the run and really put them in some situations where they were one-dimensional. Some of that was, of their own doing, with drop passes, penalties, things like that. But this team is certainly not built to drop back, 35 times a game and throw the football, from a 7-step drop and do the sorts of things that it takes to execute that drop back pass game. The first team offensive line, still kind of gelling, trying to figure out who's doing what and who needs to improve where and getting used to each other. So it's certainly a work in progress, and they really need to be able to run the football and stay out of those negative situations of long yardage if they want to find success, and then allow that group to grow, and then in turn allow Cam Ward more opportunities in favorable down and distance situations.
You may have something else. If you do, go with it.
All right. Well, one of the things too that one of the things that I'd have to say was a very bright spot for this team is the special teams play. And Bones Fossil, this new special teams coach, has come in, and the attitude that he's brought, the approach that he has, brought to this special teams unit apparently has been pretty infectious. And this group had a really good first game. We'll see if they can build on it Sunday against the Rams, because they're probably going to need a game-changing play or two out of special teams to try and, jumpstart this thing.
Yep. Amen. Because they'll have their hands full. The Rams were the team a year ago that came the closest to derailing Philadelphia Eagles in that playoff game in Philly. This is a really good football team that's coming in here. Terry, appreciate it as always.
All right. Have a good one, George.
Terry McCormick in his daily Titans update. We now return you to our regularly scheduled gambling news already in progress.
You can put it that way. So 3 Division I men's basketball players have had their eligibility permanently revoked after the NCAA's Committee on Infractions discovered they participated in gambling, including betting on their own games and manipulating their performances to alter outcomes. The 3 players, Steven Vasquez, Jalen Weaver, and Michael Robinson, all played at Fresno State at one point in their careers. In February, the Fresno Bee, apparently a newspaper there, the Bee, reported that Weaver had been held out of games due to an investigation into gambling. That followed news that Robinson, who hadn't played since January 11th, was also missing in action. So
when they do a story, it stings. Y'all got
so
that
Billy,
one.
were they gambling? Were they gambling on their team, or are we just gambling? Do we know?
Well, let's see here.
Well, here's what I do know, Billy, while you're looking for that. It got to a point, because it got out there pretty quickly, a lot of Fresno State games got taken off the board.
Yeah, so during the 2023-24 season, Robinson and Vasquez were roommates at Fresno State. And in January of this year, Robinson texted Vasquez, who was then at San Jose State, about his plan to underperform in several statistical categories during a regular season game. These 3 individuals bet a combined $2,200 on Robinson for his underperformance, winning a combined $15,000.
Okay, that's different.
I would love, we'll never find out about all of them, but I would love to know how much this is going on around the country.
I don't think you want to know.
I probably don't, but
I'm going with what Kelly has put out there, which is this stuff goes on every college campus.
And you can't stop it,
all the time. You can't stop it. Now that's a little different. Now when you're playing games and you know that you're not playing and you tell one of your buddies, it's a little different. But I promise you this, George, Billy, gambling, I say it every time, it's been going on for 50, 60 years, man. I remember being in all that stuff is happening, and it's been happening. This is no new news.
No.
That's what I got.
Okay. After the break, Mike Organ from the Tennessean will join us. We got a lot of stuff to get to with him. Then later in the show, Clark Lee at the top of the hour, 4:00. And then our buddy Garen Hoskins from the Metro Nashville Police Department with news about tomorrow night's ceremony, 24th year that we honor the folks who lost their lives in 9/11. This is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. Need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
Hey everybody, Chip Walters here. Join me along with Joe Dubin this week as the Blue Raiders travel out west to take on the Wolfpack of Nevada. Pre-game show at 2:30, kickoff at 4 o'clock Central here on 93.3 Totally Hits.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
One of the beauties of the segment that we do with Mike Organ from the Tennessean is that it gives us a chance to talk about some things, issues locally that maybe we wouldn't talk about otherwise. Mike joins us, and Mike, I want you to think about this for a second. So Kelly Holcomb was once teammates with Peyton Manning in Indy. They know each other well. I want you to think about the career paths. Peyton puts together, according to a story you did, Omaha Productions, which I believe you place the value of that at $750 million. Kelly chooses to go with Plaster Sports LLC. Retail value about $750. You tell me who made the right choice.
Well, let's dive deeper. On top of that, Peyton is now personally worth $300 million himself. I don't know Kelly's personal wealth, but I don't think it's right there at this point.
Kelly,
No,
can
I'm
you
doing okay, I'm doing okay, but it's nothing that way. So I'm not. Hey, let Peyton do Peyton, and let me be me.
So did you know?
I was a little surprised that Peyton was only worth $300 million. I thought Peyton was close to being a billionaire, and I know billionaires are rare, but the guy is prolific, and he will be a billionaire someday. But that surprised me a little bit. I was a little underwhelmed by his net worth.
Well, if that's the case, you'd be more underwhelmed by mine. I'll
tell you something, George. I'll tell you something else too. He can be a billionaire, but I'm gonna bust Peyton's chops right now. He won't buy your dinner.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's how rich people get to be rich. They don't spend unwisely. So maybe there's something to that.
That's the case. That's the case.
So, Mike, I want to toss just a tad bit of I don't want to call it a hot take, but here is what I believe. Either Jeff Ferris at Austin Peay or Bobby Wilder at Tennessee Tech will end up with a higher level job next season.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be hard to keep both of those guys. Bobby at Bender at Tech, at least they're moving. I hate to say it, but they're moving up by moving to the Southern Conference. That's going to be something to be excited about. That might keep him around, but not for the kind of money that he'll likely be offered. I mean, yeah, I shouldn't have even said that. I mean, the jump in pay from an FCS program, and especially one of those two, which aren't really high-paying jobs, to an FBS. I mean, we saw it with Eddie George last March, and he was one of the highest-paid FCS coaches out there at close to $500,000 a year. But there's no way TSU could compete with even a Bowling Green, which is not even mid-level, or maybe mid-level. But yeah, I think either of those two guys or both of them will be gone next year.
Yeah, both of them are getting people's attention. I went up and watched Tennessee Tech last Saturday. Just beat the snot out of UT Chattanooga. The final was in the 50s, and I'm like, wow, they're getting something done here.
And I don't think Chattanooga's that bad. I know they were a pretty good team last year. Tech is predicted to win the OVC conference this year, pretty overwhelmingly. Shared the championship, shared the title last year with TSU and SEMO. And brought back a lot of key players, which is so hard to do on any level now. I mean, much less FCS. I get to see them, George, in 3 weeks. Let's see, TSU plays Alabama A&M this week, then has a bye, and then plays, I think the last Saturday of the month, plays Tennessee Tech. And I'm looking forward to it. They're going to be coming here and playing at Nissan, and I'm looking forward to that game to see them.
There's some really good football being played at that level, and I think because of the title game at Vandy in January, I think it's going to get a little more attention for some of the teams in this area. At least I hope so. Let's put it that way.
I met with the championship committee when they were here on their last visit, and they're really pulling for somebody from around here. They would love to see an Austin Peay or a that would really excite them. Hey, and before we leave Tennessee Tech, George, and I know you might be hesitant to do it because you're so close to him, but I think we got to give a plug to Tim Kutras, who is one of the best players on that level. Made a really wise move leaving Liberty to go there, and has just been incredible. I think he's got a chance to be a 3-time All-OVC player, which is pretty rare.
You know, I talked to his dad about 30 minutes before we came on the air today, and I told him, I said, Chris, one thing that is pretty obvious to me, when Timothy gets in a position to make a tackle, he makes the tackle. He is a very solid tackler, even if he, you know, as a second grader told his teacher that I was his uncle. Years ago, this is the true story. Years ago, they called me one day and they were like, you won't believe what Timothy told his teacher. Told his teacher that you're his uncle. So the next time I was at their house, I busted him. He was about 8 years old at the time. And you talk about getting red-faced. Now I just say, sir, and all that, because he could beat the crap out of me.
Well, full transparency, I have to admit that there's been several occasions when I've tried to impress someone, and I tell them that you're my Uncle George. So
Thank you. Thank you. It's the first time I've ever heard that, Kelly.
Mike, I don't think I would do that if I were you.
That's a good point. That's a good point on Timothy, though. You know, making you mentioned moving from Liberty to Tennessee Tech, making that wise move. That's a move that not a lot of players would want to make or even think about making, because they continue to say, well, if I'm at Liberty now, I should be looking SEC or Big Ten or whatever. But, you know, Kelly, not enough players do that, I don't think, because, you know, wouldn't you rather play?
Yeah, absolutely. And at big schools now, Billy, because I've been in this with my son, but at big schools, man, these coaches, they have no shame, man. They'll look at you and they'll just straight tell you. They won't tell you the truth. And when you come down to lower divisions, it seems like it's more but it's still a lot of the same. I'll be honest with you. So, I mean, it's I don't know, Mike. It's just it's a different day and age in college sports right now, and there's not a lot of trust going on. And now you've got free agency in college football and college sports, and I don't know how you can be relational with them anymore. And it's kind of sad because I love Coach Donnelly, I love Coach Robin, all those guys that were my coaches at middle, and I don't know if you're going to find that anymore, Mike.
No, you're not going to see relationships built, not just between player and coach, but player and player. You know, I know you've probably got friends. Well, we were talking about Peyton a while ago. I'm sure you've got friends going back to Lincoln County, teammates that you're still close to today. And you're not going to see that. Even on the high school level where the transferring is so rampant, you're not going to have high school guys that are going to play 3 and 4 years together, and especially on the college level. And you talk about it's become such a business, and, that they won't tell you the truth whenever and they'll just tell you can't play maybe, but they're just not. It's such a business. It's cold now that that's what this has done. You can't, you remember when it's all college scholarships have always been 1-year deals. A lot of people don't realize that. And you can lose that after every year. Bobby Bowden was notorious for using that out more than a lot of coaches. But it was very seldom used back then. And when it was, you thought the guy was really cruel. Now, that's nothing compared to what's going on these days. I mean, they're telling guys you need to find somewhere to get out and move on to. Eddie George told me before he went to Bowling Green last year that he had sat down and talked to players toward the end of the season with 2 and 3 games left and told them, you need to get some film because you're going to be moving on. You need to find somewhere else to play next year, and you need to get some film in the next 2 or 3 games. You need to use this as an opportunity to do that.
Well, at least he was up front, and I'll be honest with you too, Mike. We've talked about it on our show, but college football has been the most purest form of sport in college sports, and now it's just like everything else. Like I don't know where you go from here, but like The NCAA, I remember some of the greatest times I ever had was in Beasley Dorm, where all of us stayed. We were all housed there. They took the housing away, and now everybody's spread off. So you talk about relationships. You can't have it with coaches. You can't have it with players. But I did not think that the NCAA could screw this up. And now you're talking about all these high school organizations like the TSSAA, and they're going to screw this up too at some point. And I just don't like. Where's the camaraderie? Where is the true purest form of the sport going to be? And I just don't see it anymore.
No, and then what you're going to have is, instead of having you saying you've got a close guy, I played 4 years with him, I played 6 years with him. Now you're going to have 20 and 30 guys that you're going to say, I played with him, but I don't remember much about him because I only played 1 year. I mean, it's just a revolving door that's just going to be, it's already chaotic, and it's just going to get more and more chaotic. And 40 and 50 and even 60 player turnovers on one team are going to become commonplace.
Well, y'all talked about Austin Peay, and I'd heard Austin Peay's got 70 new players, and I think the Ferris guy's done a really good job. He came up here and went middle, and a lot of people said that they look like the FBS team and middle look like the FCS team, and then you got Coach Wilder up in Tennessee Tech. But I think y'all talked about it because I had to step off. I had to take a phone call. But how we had Reggie Barlow on here the other day, and they played North Dakota State. And my son was fortunate enough to play against North Dakota State last year. But North Dakota State, South Dakota, and the University of North Dakota, it's amazing the followings they have up there. And I'm not sure that I don't think they're FCS teams. I think they're at least group of 5 teams, but they put so much money. And I was talking to somebody today. It's amazing because I was looking at the South Dakota roster when we played them last year, and they look like they've got kids from every state in the country. They've got Florida kids, Georgia kids, New Jersey kids, Michigan kids. It's amazing. And then they get all those offensive linemen and the linebackers and stuff from the Dakotas because they don't want to leave there. And I just don't know, like, you're going to get one of them teams in the FCS, if not both of them. And I just, like, it's hard for schools to understand just how good those teams are. And Tennessee State found out the other day.
And Tennessee State found out what a following that North Dakota State has, in that they brought about 8,000 fans. And here's the crazy thing, guys. I talked to the athletic director before the game. They all came the week before to go to Charlotte for the game, and they stayed went from the Citadel and just stayed in this area. Made their way over to Nashville and hung out in Nashville until the TSU game. That's how devoted they are. And they outnumbered Tennessee State fans right here in Nashville about 9 or 10 to 1. Tennessee State fans did not show up for that game. It was very embarrassing for Tennessee State. Billy mentioned something a while ago when you were talking about where their players come from, Kelly, that is kind of interesting. Yeah, you're right, Billy. They not many players do step down. If they're on the SEC level, they don't step all the way down to the FCS level, but they will to a program like some of those that Kelly went through, including North Dakota State, South Dakota, and then also Montana and Montana State. Those are schools that they will step down to. And that's why those programs are so good. And I asked the athletic director, I said, have you thought about moving, to FBS? And he said, yeah, we'd think about it if somebody would invite us, but nobody wants, they've not been invited. And they also can't get FBS schools to play them. And that's why what they do is they destination cities where there are FCS teams, like Nashville. That's how this game came about, was their fans. Even though it's 1,000 miles away, they're willing to travel because Nashville's a destination city. It's warm, and that's why they play teams like TSU, is because they look for try to take care of their fans.
Well, if you can play football, what was something I've learned, you can play football. Like if you're a gamer, and you put up numbers at a D2 school or an FCS school or what have you, a lot of more times than not, you'll be able to produce at the Division I level as well. Mike, I don't know if you know, Vanderbilt has a Division II transfer, Trey Richardson from Washburn out in Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 2 incredible catches against Virginia Tech, had a touchdown grab, one-handed. but you don't see a whole lot of that. Like Cody Schrader at Missouri a couple of years back. I think more and more what coaches are realizing now is, hey, if I can go get that kid at that Division II school, then I will, because there's so much. That's what the portal has done a good job of and has helped programs on the other side of that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's a good point, Billy. And I heard an interview with Trey Richardson after that game, and he talked about the interviewer asked him about, what has his journey been like? And he said, when I first got here, I had no idea what, Division I FBS football was like. And he said, kind of like you just said, Billy, he said, I thought to myself, well, I can catch the ball I caught the ball, in Division II. I can catch the ball here, and he has proven that he can. He's proven that the stigma that you can't play on that level is definitely not true.
Mike, this was good stuff. I love the fact that we can get into some discussions of things with you that probably aren't going to come up otherwise. Thanks again for a great job, and we'll do it again next Wednesday.
Okay, look forward to it, guys.
That's Mike Organ from the Tennessean joining us for his weekly visit. After the break, we're going to talk with Kelly about that famous teammate and get a few of his thoughts. This is 94.9, The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2025 season. Create a summer of memories at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, and more. Tickets are on sale now.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Here's Officer Darren Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
Changes in career, people looking to serve their community and get into law enforcement and join a great department. And I just so happened to meet an individual who heard my segment on your show, has already applied, has come from multiple different career paths, and has always had this dream. And we're very glad to have him. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs.
Your two total screw-ups of humongous proportions.
Sports. We're not living in an era where perfection is necessary.
They thought they were a championship contending team.
Here. We told you not to do this. Your Your sports live here. On ESPN 94.9. And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Not only was Peyton Manning a two-time Super Bowl champion, but he probably was the single best athlete who has ever put out commercials. If you think about it, virtually every commercial that this guy has done has turned out to be pretty good, pretty funny. People who saw him on Saturday Night Live when he hosted gave him rave reviews. Kelly, back when you were his teammate, could you tell this was the kind of stuff he wanted to do?
I don't think he was thinking about that at that time, but he was he's got a funnier side to him, man. You always saw when he was playing ball, he was always focused, and the people focused on that. But he had a funnier side to him. We played a bunch of pranks on each other, man. He was a prankster. I was a prankster. He would get me. I would get him. The best. I think I've told you all this, but the best one that he ever got me with was when and there were some that I got that I can't tell on the air. But the one that he got me with was we were in Terre Haute, Indiana, at Rose-Hulman, and we were at training camp, and he was a rookie, and he didn't have a TV in his room, so I had a TV in my room, so he came down to watch TV. So one night I had to go get something from Walgreens or something. I cannot remember what it was, but we had already been playing pranks on each other, but I said, well, I've got to leave, man. You just want to stay in here and watch TV? And he was like, yeah. So I get in the car, and I get about 3 or 4 miles down the road, and I said, you have got to be the most ignorant dude for leaving this clown in your room. And when I got back, I can see guys poking their heads out, and they're looking and looking, and they're waiting on me to come up. I go into the bottom part of the dorm, and he has taken my bedroom, my clothes, my TV, everything from the second floor, and he's put on the first floor. And I was like, you have got to be. I said, I knew it. All you could do was laugh, and I had to have some guys help me get my bed, my mattress, everything back up. But that's kind of who he is. That's kind of who I was. We had a good time together. He was one of the more focused guys. He taught me a lot. Like I'm sure his dad taught him a lot when he was in high school and when he was growing up, because he idolized his dad. He sat in his room and listened to old games of his dad playing ball, which was pretty cool. But he's a historian of the game. He loved the game, and man, you talking about film. He and I used to. I learned a lot from him. I really did, because I can remember when I was in college, my college coach, Coach Robbins, would always get mad at me because I would watch film, but I didn't really understand things because I was accurate. I was better than that, and things came easy to me, and I didn't really put forth that much effort and stuff a lot of times. And then when I get to the NFL, it's a different ball game, and I had to learn how to watch film. And I'd sit around, Peyton and I would sit around for hours and watch film, and he taught me probably more than I taught him. He was really prepared, and that's kind of the things that you remember. That's one reason why he's in the Hall of Fame, because athletically he wasn't great athletically, but smart wise and understanding the game and understanding what you were going to do to him. And if you had something that you brought up new to him, he'd go on the sideline, he'd figure out what he was doing, he'd figure out how to counteract that in a game. So he was he was a good teammate to me, and he's been a good friend.
Kelly, did you think he wanted to be part of an NFL ownership group?
I don't know. I don't know if he wants to be that. Maybe he does. I don't know. I thought when he went to Denver, because I could see him doing this. I thought when he went to Denver, he had a guy there that has been through some of the things that he was going through, like a John Elway. John Elway's had the spotlight on him forever, and he became a general manager at Denver. So I thought, because everybody everybody knew when he was leaving the coach, they were saying he's coming to Tennessee or he's going to go coach at Tennessee or he's going. I'm like, he's not coming to Tennessee. Why would you come to Tennessee where you're already a living legend? And then if you come to Tennessee and you're not very good, then it's going to ruin your reputation. So when he went to Denver, I just thought that I knew he was going to go somewhere, but I just thought when he did that, hey, he's trying to figure out how to maybe be a GM. He's trying to get in John Elway's ear, and he's trying to figure out, because he's a question asker now, and he's a note taker, and he's trying to figure out how to do that. So I don't know about an owner. He may be that in years to come, but I could see him maybe wanting to be a general manager. But since he's doing all this commercial stuff, I don't think he'll ever do that anymore.
Kelly, the one time I really dealt with him, he came in, I want to say it was around 2016. The Tennessean put together a high school sports event, and Peyton got paid 6 figures to come in and be a part of that. Me as the MC, Zippo. But after I read through a bunch of the award winners, there was about a 15-minute recess, and I happened to go back behind the curtain. I was trying to go back and make sure that, everything with the awards had gone okay and I hadn't screwed up anybody's name really bad. And he's just standing there. And what followed was exactly what you're saying, about 15 minutes of just question after question, starting with, how did you and David Cutcliffe get to be friends? Then I said, how do you know one way or the other? He told me. You're right about one thing. He's a big time note taker. I probably should send him one of these legal pads. This would be right up his alley.
I'm sure he's got many.
Yeah, he asks a lot of questions.
He does, and that I was in. Bruce Arians put me in his book. It's called The Quarterback Whisperer, and I had a whole chapter. Tom Moore gave me a couple of sentences, which I was really upset about that. I told Tom about that, but Bruce wanted to start off the thing, whereas Peyton comes into the meeting and he has 6 notebooks, and Holcomb comes into our meeting and he doesn't have any. And I'm like, I told Bruce, that's a straight up lie. That is a straight up lie. I had 1 notebook. Now Peyton is a nerd when it comes to stuff like that, but he's absolutely right. Like that was his, and he keeps. I think he kept all his notebooks, George. And when we played, like in our division, when you play the other team the second time, he would take out that notebook, and then he would study, what's different now than when we're playing them now, and how they've changed defensively to how they're playing now. He keeps up with that stuff, man, and he was. He was always prepared.
No doubt about that part.
Oh,
always
no doubt.
Prepared. Okay. Thanks for sharing a little bit of it. After the break, we'll go stat of the day, which probably won't be real pretty. And then Billy will have the weekly interview with Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee. So stick around. We got a lot more coming on 94.9 The Fan.
When you're all in for game day, Electronic Express has you covered with the largest selection of in-stock TVs from all the best brands like LG, Samsung, Sony, and Vizio. Right now, get a 65-inch Samsung Ultra High Definition TV for just $399, a 98-inch TCL QLED TV for only $1499, or this 75-inch Google Smart TV for just $349. Shopping local has its perks too, like free delivery and up to 24 months interest-free financing. Visit us in-store or at electronicexpress.com. We've got that.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. The summer is winding down and fall will be here before we know it. My friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville have amazing special deals right now, and they're just in time to replace those old drafty windows for the cold winter months. I endorse Pella because they are the highest quality windows and doors, the most trusted brand, and they improve the value of your home over all the others. So go with the experts at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Visit PellaNashville.com for more information.
Ponzi Law is the only injury law firm with the Crash Cam Network, capturing accident footage on highways across Middle Tennessee. Injured in an accident? Call Ponzi Law. We offer a no-fee guarantee, and for over 30 years, we've been helping injured people just like you. We've been voted best law firm multiple times. I'm Michael Ponce. If you've been injured, call us today at 615-244-4321. Ponce Law, justice for all.
This week only, get more mellow for your money with Nashville's best deals. Score 50% off a $30 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Good at both the Broadway and downtown Franklin locations. Mellow Mushroom is serving up handcrafted pizzas, stacked burgers, munchies, calzones, and 32 draft beers to wash it all down. Gluten-free and vegan options too. Grab your half-off gift card now at 949thefan.com/deals.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobis. This afternoon, high temperatures flirting with 90 degrees throughout the afternoon. Partly cloudy, and overnight tonight falling back down into the 60s. We could see a few isolated showers tonight as well.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network. This fall, country music superstar Tim McGraw is hitting the stage live at the Pinnacle at Nashville Yards.
Ford Trinetics, Rock the Cradle.
And it's all for a great cause. It's going to be an unforgettable night of music, fun, and giving back, with proceeds supporting newborns and moms at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown.
And I like it, I love it, I want some more.
Don't miss it. Grab your tickets now at rockthecradlenashville.org. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
I like it, I love it, I want some more.
Live on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
This is Nick Frazier. As the Tennessee Titans prepare for the Los Angeles Rams this Sunday, head coach Brian Callahan shared his thoughts on former player Matthew Stafford as a tough test with the Rams.
He's played at a high level for a really long time. We got a really nice challenge there with them. They're really good at running the football. They're committed to it. They do a great job marrying their play action game off of it. They put people in some pretty good conflict when it comes to those things. So we got to be on top of it. We got to play really good defense. We got to tackle well, stop the run. Those are critical components to this game.
And after taking an incidental hit from tight end Travis Kelce in Brazil, wide receiver Xavier Worthy is on the injury report this week for the Chiefs. The team noted that they are not considering surgery for the second-year wideout. Tonight, the Nashville Sounds look to extend their 3-game win streak as they continue their series with the Gwinnett Stripers. You can hear coverage beginning at 6:20 on 94.9 The Fan, with first pitch to follow at 6:35 right here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
For more, log on to theGameNashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Vanderbilt head coach Mark Lee coming up ahead of their matchup with South Carolina Saturday night at Williams-Brice Stadium. We'll dive into that matchup, but first we get stat of the day, brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. You can find them at Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Give them a call, 615-754-9800, or log on to the website. That's applecollisioncenters.com. All right, we are going with some NFL today. Little Baltimore Ravens. If I can get to it, there we go. Derrick Henry surpassed Jim Brown, the most rushing touchdowns all time. Who is Henry trying to pass next on the list?
Just saw that the other day. Well, Emmitt Smith's at the top. Jim Brown, Derrick Henry. George, you know?
No, I'm thinking of John Riggins.
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton would be a good one. Larry Zonka in Miami.
Oh, my
might be a good one. Is it fair to say that the likelihood of us getting this right is nil?
I saw this the other night because they had it on they had it on the game, and this is just irritating me. Oh, I would say Walter Payton if it's just me. I don't know.
Let's go Walter Payton. What the heck? Sweet.
It is Walter Payton.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the dictionary definition of pulling it out of your
you know what.
You know what?
All of you at home, play along. You can use the word. I probably can't. Wow. 110 touchdowns. You know, he was one of a bunch of Chicago Bears who were honored Monday night. They brought back the 40th year team. And at some point in the next few days, we'll have former Titans coach Jeff Fisher on to talk about it because he was part of that ceremony, which I know was a highlight of a night that turned sour very late.
Yeah, you would think that the Bears, the 85 Bears being there might help the Bears that night, but nope.
No, not unless they can play. Okay, we're officially into the 4 o'clock hour from our digs at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Most of you know the story. It's not just that Vandy went up to Blacksburg and beat Virginia Tech. It's the way it happened that had people going, dang. Down 20-10 at halftime. Vandy scored 34 unanswered and essentially left the old Hokies for roadkill. My guess, having not heard the interview, is that comes up. The weekly Clark Lee interview presented by the folks at Pancoast Benefits.
Coach, I want to start with last weekend in Blacksburg. Obviously, down 20-10 at the half. What was the halftime discussion like with the guys? And you know, you get asked all the time, what were the adjustments, right? And I think you said yesterday that we really don't think we had to change a whole lot. What were those conversations like, and what allowed you guys to become so dominant in that second half?
Well, the locker room at halftime was spirited. I mean, the players were, energized, and all that felt right to me. I think there was real belief in there and excitement to get back out. My job in those moments is just to remind them that the game actually is going to come down to the football that's played. So there's no hype award at the end of the game. It's did you focus? Did you execute? And I think some of the things that set us back in the first half were a lack of focus, lack of execution. And so it was just trying to get their minds wrapped around that. We felt like we were the better team. I didn't feel any differently after the first half, but we were going to need to play better to have a chance to win the game. And obviously, I think we found the strength in our identity there in the second half. We were able to separate. So it was a focused halftime. It was nothing that was panicked or just kind of a reminder of the things that we needed to do well and, where we could place our attention to improve the play on the field. And as far as adjustments go, I mean, you get to know a little bit about how a team's going to attack you. So you can kind of move down your call sheet in some ways, maybe throw some out that that maybe weren't working or offensively, we kind of found the formations that were going to give us the leverage we wanted to get the run game going. I'm not so sure that those 2 turnovers in the first half didn't really create some of that feeling that we had going into halftime where you're down 10 points and you wanted to go better. I mean, you got to be really careful about feelings in the course of a game because if you're just out on the field resulting the whole time, you can convince yourself of a lot of things. It's just, you got to be disciplined to kind of stay focused on stay focused in the process, be sober in your judgment. And again, keep the mission first. The mission's winning. What is winning going to look like, and how do we need to adjust and adapt, and in what ways do we need to stay the course to give us a chance to come out on top over 4 quarters?
Coach, offensively on this show, we talked a lot about the deception offensively that you guys have operated with, and not only last year, but especially through these first couple of weeks where you go back and watch on Saturday. And a lot of times, you can understand why the defense may be a little on their heels and not quite sure what's coming. what has allowed this offense so far through 2 games to be so deceptive, but also create more throws out to the outside, whether it's Trey Richardson. We saw the Bryson Coleman touchdown. We know what Eli Stowers can do, and MK Young behind Cedric Alexander. How in your mind through 2 games has this offense been different and more explosive than it was last year?
Well, you have really thoughtful design. Yeah, I think Tim Beck's done a great job of. I mean, this was true last year too. We're formationally challenging in terms of formation motions. We're going to force a defense to line up to a lot of different things that are challenging to line up to, and adjust to motions that are challenging to adjust to. And you throw kind of those option elements into it. Those are things that take time and preparation. But beyond that, I think Coach Beck in the way he's found plays and packages for our players. What are the things that our guys do well? How do we best feature those strengths? And it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Just the level of intentionality in terms of who's in the game, how are we getting them the ball, how do we activate playmaking within their role. And then obviously we have a quarterback that strengthens the performance of the other 10 players on the field. I mean, all that goes hand in hand. I do believe too that we've improved in the offensive line. And so you talk about Trey Richardson, part of, having the ability to get the ball down the field is protecting. And, I think we've done a better job this year of in pass protection. That'll be big for us this weekend. And then also in the offensive line, creating space for the run game. And we were able to do that through the tailback on Saturday at Virginia Tech. And, that's improvement from a year ago. So, there's a lot there, but I believe it starts with a thoughtful design from Tim Beck, and then execution at the quarterback position and the offensive line gives us a chance to feature those other players that are out there on the field.
Coach, South Carolina returns Lenore Sellers, and obviously we know about the defense with Dylan Stewart, and offensively at tight end with Nick Harbor. Through 2 games, obviously there is a common opponent there with them playing Virginia Tech in week 1. How is this South Carolina team different than maybe last year, and what are those challenges on tape when you throw it in there that they'll present on Saturday?
Well, I mean, they have an identity. This is a team that plays a game similar to us. They're going to be tough on defense. They can run it at all 11 positions on defense. They play hard. They contest space really well. It's obviously they're dynamic on the edges. So getting the play off sometimes becomes a challenge. You can't get frustrated or lose patience with negative yardage plays, just because those are going to happen when you have such talent on the ends. We're going to need to try to design and create some space, and we're going to need to throw to score and run to win. I mean, it's similar to last week in that respect. The style of defense is a little bit different. Offensively, it all runs through the quarterback, and they've got a really good one. So, trying to neutralize the offense really has a lot to do with trying to neutralize Lenore Sellers and what he can do with respect to his arm strength and his ability to push the ball down the field in the passing game. Obviously, he's as good as any I've seen at evading rush and breaking free from the pocket. And he becomes extra dangerous with the speed and size he has down the field when he breaks the pocket and extends the play. Those are things that we're focused on. I believe this game is going to be about how we play in our defensive line, and can we establish an advantage up front? If you can, you have a chance to maybe force them to play from their heels. If you can't, then obviously you're giving a dynamic playmaker time and space, and that's not going to be a good formula for us. So, and then you're not talking about South Carolina without talking about what they do on special teams. Bakari Swain's returned 3 punts for a touchdown. I mean, it's incredible just how they create advantage in that phase. We like to think that we do the same. And it's going to be really critical that we play well in that phase, that it's going to take all 3 phases for us to come out victorious.
Coach, specifically with the offensive line's performance in the second half, it's understandable that they were given the game ball in what they did. I mean, you could have driven a Mack truck through some of those holes in the second half with Cedric and his touchdowns, and MK Young, of course, they're late. You mentioned head body a lot of times, with those body blows, and a lot of times the run game may not be, very sexy or very attractive to maybe watch, but you break through with a 60-yard run there late. How important was the offensive line and their performance and allowing those body blows to continue to puncture through Virginia Tech's defense?
Well, it's huge, and it's not fun to play against a team that is able to physically establish an advantage at the line of scrimmage. I think in some ways, South Carolina did this with us a year ago. I felt like their run game really set a tone and made it hard on us, and it probably was one of our worst performances defending the run or building the run wall. So, the O-line against Virginia Tech established an attitude, a physical play. We were able to land some body blows early and lean on them, and in time we found the breakthrough. That's got to be a part of the formula this weekend too. And again, you can't lose patience. I believe this in defense also. I mean, those long drives that end in field goals, you're rallying, you're tackling. As long as you're playing forward and playing physically, those are body blows too. And no offense wants to play down the field 3 yards at a time. It's just that's a miserable way to play offense. So it's our job on defense to contest the space that we give up, to tackle the ball physically, to not allow for leaky yards and explosive plays. And when you play that way over the course of 4 quarters, you can impose your will on the opponent. It's true on both sides of the ball. Obviously, in both cases, it starts with the line of scrimmage play. And at Virginia Tech, I was really pleased with and proud of our offensive line, and not surprised, because that's part of their identity. But they were able to do that and establish that run game, and they gave way to explosive touchdowns there towards the end.
Last thing here, Coach. Last week when we talked, I asked you about Enter Sandman, and you mentioned before the game, when you guys hear that song, that should sort of evoke a feeling of dominance and being ready to go. This week it's Sandstorm. So what when you guys train this, obviously we know throughout the week you're listening to the song. What is that feeling that you wish that for it to evoke for your team, when they're waiting to go out on the field, and how does that help you guys in preparation for another tough environment on Saturday night?
Well, you're just kind of trying to teach them to flip it in their minds and to adopt the song as a signal, and it's a signal to be ready, to be alert, to be focused. Again, we have a spirited team. This is a spirited game. It's not going to be about, playing emotionally and out of control. It's about how we channel our spirit into focus and how our focus gives way to execution. But we want to look at the environment as something that's not against us, but it's for us. It's actually what makes this enjoyable, and sometimes playing on the road is actually the best of experiences, because certainly in the environments we get to play in, are like on Saturday, are going to be really, really neat. But also there is this galvanizing sense of needing to play together on the road, because you feel at times like you're up against 80,000 people. Eventually it all kind of settles, and eventually, if you play well, you can again water down some of the environmental factors. Our operation is what's going to dictate their involvement in the game. If we can operate, eventually that noise will subside to a level that is normal for us to operate in. If we can't operate, we're gonna invite them to participate in the game. And anytime you go 11 versus 80,000, that's not the game you want to play. So I try to teach the guys it's in our control, that we'll be prepared for it. But again, we're not going to battle their energy with our energy. We're going to battle, and I'm talking specifically the crowd. We're going to battle their energy with our focus and our execution. That's the control we have, and that's where we need to again, put our attention.
Should be fun. Vanderbilt and South Carolina Saturday night in Columbia at Williams-Brice Stadium, 6:45 there on the SEC Network. Coach, good luck on Saturday, and thanks as always for the time.
Thanks, Billy.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about this. Kelly, I believe that on Sunday morning as people headed to church that there was sort of this, did you see the Vandy game? Dang.
Yep.
Of a lot of people, me included, who, number one, weren't sure they could win at Virginia Tech. And secondly, certainly didn't see them outscoring anybody 34-0 in the second half. I'll admit that it didn't get quite the national attention that I thought it might. But now all of a sudden you got South Carolina, one of the top 15 teams rated in the country. So let me toss it at both of you. What does Ben do Saturday as far as some national, hey, this isn't the Vandy you're used to?
I think it really wakes people up. I think the Virginia Tech game did, but you're right. It's Virginia Tech, and you can make the easy excuse of, well, Virginia Tech's not very good this year. I mean, you could do that every week, and that happens a lot with Vanderbilt, where even Vanderbilt's own fans, they say, well, let's see them do it against South Carolina. They keep saying that each week, but I think if you go to Columbia and beat South Carolina, who's number 11 in the country right now, and by the way, you're not ranked. I mean, are they not a top 20 team in the country at that point? And so I think nationally, Vanderbilt is. I mean, the winner of this is on the doorstep. Is in the doorstep of the college football playoff. Is on track for it. If you're 3-0 and you just beat a top 15 team in the country, I know it would still be early, but I think it'd be a huge statement.
Kelly,
yeah, I'm a believer. I'm a believer right now. I was not last week. I'm with you, George. I did not think they could go to Blacksburg and do what they did, and they just pummeled the Virginia Tech Hokies. It wasn't even a game in the second half. They made some adjustments. I don't know if it was an adjustment on the playing wise, or I don't know if it was adjustment focused. Just getting after them a little bit in the locker room. Clark Lee probably got after them a little bit, but I mean, they came out and they put a whipping on them young men. And if they do it again this week, I think people are starting to wake up, but they've got that belief. I've been talking about it for 2 weeks. And when you have that belief in somebody and you have that belief that you're going to win a game, it doesn't matter where you are. And I like what Clark Lee said, man. He's really good at talking, and he's talking about the crowd. It's hard to beat 11 and 80,000 people. And he's absolutely right. If you're focused and you do your fundamentals, what you've been coached to do, and you produce on the field, then you take that crowd out of the game. Now you can control that, and you're controlling what you can do, and then you're just playing 11 on 11, and that's kind of what you have to do in a situation like this. And I'm looking for them. Somebody said it the other day. I would not be surprised, and I don't even know if I am. I'm going to be surprised if Vanderbilt goes in there and whips South Carolina, because I think they can. I think they're trending up, and I want to say you got to show me some more, but right now I'm believing in them.
What's interesting, I thought a year ago that South Carolina handled Vandy better than anybody else. Vandy couldn't block South Carolina. And Diego Pavia was running for his life a lot of the game. That's part of what I'm going to be interested in. How much better does their offensive line hold up than it did a year ago?
And I think he's not injured right now. So he's I think all last season he was kind of hampered with that stuff. And I think that, I think he's healthy, and I think that's a new dynamic that he's going to bring. And you're right, George. You got to win the game from up front. And South Carolina normally has some really good defensive linemen who can get after you. So that's going to be the war. It's always the whoever wins the war up front in the trenches. That's what wins the ball game. And I'm looking forward to see how Vanderbilt does in the enemy's territory. That's for sure.
Yeah, the offensive line, that's a good point, because they have struggled with penalties at times, whether it's holding and against Virginia Tech, they had a lot of ineligible men downfield penalties with the RPO, run scheme that they run, Kelly, because they, it's a new group and they haven't played a whole lot together. But they, you're playing on the road in the SEC, you've got to play clean football. And they also, the second half against Virginia Tech, they were opening Mack truck sized holes. I mean, credit to the running backs, but I mean, that offensive line dominated in the second half. So did the defensive line. So if they can continue that, I don't see why they can't beat South Carolina.
By the way, on the Virginia Tech front, they are only a 7-point favorite at home to Old Dominion. And they've got an issue, and it became very apparent to me they got a quarterback problem. They've got a quarterback that, in my opinion, is a one-trick pony. He can throw the line drive. He can't throw anything else. In that respect, he's Joe Milton. He causes a lot of the same issues that Joe Milton caused at Tennessee, which is there's some balls you got to be able to put some air under it and catch it. And I don't think that young man can do that yet.
He's got the same issue too, because I'm not sure he can play. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Can you play or not? And I just hadn't seen it from that young man. I really hadn't. I don't. Everybody talks about this athleticism from quarterbacks and all this, but you have to be able to complete balls and you have to be able to play. And I'm just not sure he can, George. I'm really not. And if you don't have a guy under center or behind center that can make those plays in Division I football now, in any level of football, you're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, yep. South Carolina sacked him a few times. Vanderbilt, obviously got pressure on him too. He doesn't look very comfortable either. But I'm also with you, Kelly, that I haven't been completely impressed with him ever since he's been at Virginia Tech. Like if you're still there in year 3 and you're losing at home to Vanderbilt and after they beat you last year, at that point, I think you are who you are.
Well, this is a big moment up there, because if Brent Pryde doesn't win against Old Dominion, I don't think he's back next year.
I think they've already probably made that decision, because or Virginia Tech. I don't know if this is Pryde specifically, but Virginia Tech is 0-14 in their last 14 games against Power 4 opponents.
Not Beamer ball, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. After the break, we're going to talk about what happened 24 years ago tomorrow. Tomorrow's 9/11, and Nashville absolutely will be one of those cities that remembers all those great people and all of the folks who lost their lives in that tragedy. Stay tuned. We're back with more on 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. Or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
Tonight, your Nashville Sounds continue their 6-game series against Gwinnett. Pre-game at 6:20.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan and the Game Nashville app. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We are back, and let me right off the bat applaud one of our sponsors, and that's the Nashville Sounds, Adam English, and the entire group, because tomorrow night they will have a very moving ceremony involving 24 years ago, 9/11. With that in mind, skinny Garen Hoskins joins us from the Metro Nashville Police Department. You look great.
Hey, thanks,
How much
George.
weight have you lost?
I've lost 20 pounds over the summer. I just wanted to get back in shape. Hopped out of the shower one day and was like, nope, this isn't working and I'm not feeling good. So wanted to change it. So got out there, lost some weight. As a recruiter, you got to look the part too, right? So I wanted to better myself physically, and I feel great.
We'll get to the recruiting stuff later. We'll get to Tennessee, Georgia later. Let's talk about tomorrow night, because you are heavily invested in this ceremony. You have helped put this thing together the last 3 years in conjunction with the Sounds. What will go on tomorrow night?
So tomorrow is the Nashville Sounds First Responder Night, the 4th annual. This will be the 4th year in a row that we've done this event. And what it is, it's a fantastic event with the Metro Nashville Police Department, the Nashville Fire Department, the TBI. We'll have several different units out there where families and friends can go and look at all these different pieces of equipment that police use. Chief Drake is throwing out the first pitch again. He's, leading the helm of recruiting and everything. And not to mention, we'll have several tables out there. It's great for families and friends. And we'll also have a recruitment table out there. So if you see something you like and it's something that you can maybe think that you would like to do and be a law enforcement officer in Nashville, Davidson County, well, we'll have a recruitment table out there, and I'll be there as well.
If somebody's coming to the game, what time is the actual ceremony?
So gates open at 5:35, and game starts at 6:35. We will start the opening ceremony probably shortly after 6. I'd say 6:10, 6:15.
We were there a year ago, and it's a very moving deal because, you know, for people my age who don't quite remember the John F. Kennedy assassination, this is the, do you remember where you were? And the answer is, of course you remember.
Yeah.
You could never forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember being a freshman in high school and the teachers turning on the TVs, and I mean, we didn't learn anything that day because it was the world was captured by what was happening in New York and Washington D.C. and Pennsylvania. And the one thing I love about hosting this event, not only is it honoring first responders, but it's honoring the heroes of 9/11. Those civilians, those firefighters, those police officers, anybody that tried to make someone's life better from that event and help them. So it's honoring all those heroes, and we'll never forget that day. But it's something that I look back at and I'm like, what can I do to not only better our police department and better us here in Davidson County, Nashville, Davidson County, but with this event, I'm like, we can have the best of both worlds, and it's just a great event. Families can come out and enjoy the atmosphere, and it's just, you mix it all around good old American baseball. And not to mention it's their last homestand, so the weather's going to be great. It's going to be a great event, and I would say if you're interested in coming out, this is absolutely one of the better games to come to.
Garen, the thing I think, excuse me, that I remember, well, let me put it this way. When it happened, we all heard the thing, let's never forget these people. And you sit there and you say, yeah, that sounds great, but, we will. Well, this is one time we haven't. Absolutely. We have not forgotten all these people who showed bravery, many of whom lost their lives defending New York City and our country. And I love the fact that we haven't forgotten them.
Yeah. I mean, even 24 years later, we're still as a nation, still, remembering these individuals, military members afterwards, but the people on 9/11. And, something I've been very gracious to be in the position that I've been in our recruitment unit and being able to network with all different sporting events and you as well. And, this is probably the largest event I have circled on my calendar every single year. And I do a plethora of stuff, travel the country, recruiting and everything. But this particular day, I pour my, everything into it, my heart, my sweat, my tears, everything. And at the end of this event, I always sit back, towards the end of the ball game. And I'm like, man, did it right again. And it's just a great event, and I highly encourage anybody that's interested, that has time, come on out. It's a great time.
When we met up 2.5 years ago, I guess, one of the things I learned, and a lot of people would have no reason to know this unless they've watched our show, is the level of active recruiting that the Metro Nashville Police Department has engaged in. You're one of those people. You're a live wire. You have the ability to talk. You enjoy doing that. Talk to people about what you think the results of this have been so far.
So the results have been fantastic. My team and I have literally built everything from the ground up when it comes to recruiting. We teach college lectures. We do college career fairs. We do just general career fairs, military bases, all that stuff. And what we have done is, as we've done so well, that the council and the city has had to up the number of employees that we can have on the police department. It's now up to 1,720, and they had to raise that up from around 1,500. And the city of Nashville has grown 3 times its size in the last 15 years.
Wow.
So with that, you need more fire, you need more EMS, you need more police, and those vital careers that you need in a city to keep people safe and have resources. But I'll tell you, we're hiring nonstop. We run 4 basic academies a year. We run 2 lateral academies a year. Basics mean someone who's brand new and never been a police officer. Our lateral programs are previous officers that can transfer and continue their career with our department. And I'm going to tell you, there's no end in sight when it comes to hiring. We are going to move into the 2000s and continue to grow this department. And so I will say this, we are the highest paying agency in Tennessee with by far the best benefits. That's not me bragging. That's just a fact. And I will tell you, I've been an officer for 11 years, hopefully about to be promoted to sergeant. We have not only career opportunities where you can do specialized skills, but we have promotional opportunities as well. And I'm going to tell you, if you asked me 11 years ago, Garen, would you do anything different? I'd say the only thing I would do different is if I hit the lottery, then obviously I wouldn't have to worry about it. But no, I love doing what I do. It's provided myself and my family a lot of opportunities in my life, and not to mention given me a career that I can go home at the end of the day and say, I made this world a better place from what I can do. And it's been great.
One of the things that goes on in this involves sports. We've got a lot more sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot more sports activity in this city. Butch Spearden, who ran the Convention and Visitors Bureau, never missed the chance to thank you all for the level of cooperation that the police department gives. And Scott Ramsey with the Nashville Sports Council has said the same thing, that the police who are working sporting events, working big stuff that comes here, that the level of cooperation between your department and those people promoting these events is way better than most cities.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's great. I mean, sports in general, they bring everyone together, both from all different walks of life. And I'm going to tell you, just being a part of being a first responder and being able to, be security, or, I go work at CPA, Christ Presbyterian Academy, and love going over there. But just being a part of sporting events and being able to serve the community and being able to also recruit at sporting events, you just capture an audience that is there for fun. They're there to enjoy sports, especially football this time of year. And it's great. It's absolutely great.
So now to the trash talk. You are a Knoxville native, grew up, in the Knoxville area.
Absolutely. Yep.
And there is a little orange in your blood.
Yeah.
And you have, I'm sure, words of wisdom for Georgia Bulldog fans. What would that be?
Well, the words of wisdom are, I believe College Game Day was there in 2022. Billy, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Both there within just a few months apart, and we won against Florida. Then we won against Alabama. College Game Day hasn't been there since, and we might as well put Georgia on that list as well. What's the line at? Do we know?
3.5.
Minus 3.5
Georgia,
for Georgia.
3.5. Yeah.
Tennessee money line all day, baby. I will say this.
Is this a department recommendation?
I will say, no, this is not representative of the Metro Nashville Police Department. However, I will say this. I saw a quote out there, and it was from, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. Who's the head coach of Georgia?
Kirby Smart.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. I saw it on Barstool Sports. Bill, you could probably find it, pull it up. But there was something about him not when preparing the Georgia Bulldogs against playing in Neyland Stadium, that the fans were going to not be a factor. Now, that's not exact quote, but it was something like that. Couldn't believe that. I was like, and College Game Day is going to be there? I'm like, all right, bring it on.
Okay, Kelly, you've been listening to all this. You got anything for Garen?
Man, I kind of asked him this last time. I just got one question. Like, how is it becoming harder in today's craziness Garen, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, is it becoming harder to get cops, to recruit cops, to get cops, or is it just in the situation that you're in? Nashville's obviously with guys like you, obviously a good place to be, but like in other parts of the country, is it harder? Is it hard here? How's that going?
Well, Nashville, as you know, in Middle Tennessee, you live here as well. It's grown so much, and we're having so many Californians, so many New Yorkers, so many Midwest people from Florida. They want to come to a place that has 4 seasons, a year, and it's just a good place to raise your family. So for us in Davidson County, it has not been hard finding people. Now, looking at different generations, I mean, I have people that come to me in their mid 40s that say, I've been working a job for 15, 20 years, and I've just always had this pull to be a law enforcement officer or to do something more. And then I have these people that are very young coming out of college this is what they want to do. They've got a career in it or they have a degree in it. But, I came from the University of Tennessee, a psychology major, and I knew I wanted to do something. I had a basic understanding of, I knew I wanted to do something that mattered in life. I didn't want to work for a boss to help him pay off his boat. I wanted to do something that mattered, and I found my way into law enforcement. And that's typically how I find people. And I'll tell you, my team and I have worked very hard over the last 4 years, and we are rocking and rolling. And it does help that we have I'm selling the city as well, the city of Nashville, because people do want to move here. It's a great city. But for the most part, I mean, our agency is different. Our culture is different than most other major cities. We're supported here by Chief Drake. We're highly trained. I mean, we've talked at length, and I won't go back into it, but the Covenant school shooting, and that was national news, and people saw that training. Those were just patrol officers going in there from all different walks of life, and people for the first time saw Nashville's training firsthand in a critical incident, and many lives were saved because of it. So our culture is different. Our support is different here. Those are both good things, and our training is different. And also it helps to have a good pension, good pay, good benefits. So you combine all those together, why wouldn't you want to go anywhere else besides us?
Look in the camera and tell everybody how you think Saturday turns out.
I don't have a final score prediction. However, Kelly, and you can trash talk me next week.
Yeah, you're wimping out.
I'll watch. No. Tennessee money line, and we win. That's my bet of I see you've got a bet of the day coming up, so you can
hopefully
pick
yours
else.
are better than that.
Take Tennessee money line, and Tennessee wins by 7.5 points or more.
Wow. Not real high on Gunnar Stockton, are you?
You know what? I will say this in all fairness. I will check myself. I said pretty much the same thing against Ohio State in the playoffs last year. Definitely had to eat my words then. So that was horrible. However, give me Neyland Stadium, give me Georgia in there, and give me this trash talk that Kirby Smart's talking already. Come on. Let's bring it.
You can give out your phone number if you will.
911.
Thank you for coming in here.
Absolutely, George.
I know tomorrow night is going to be very moving, very meaningful. And I know you've worked hard on it. I know it'll be great.
Thank you, George. I look forward to it. Thanks for having me on again. And I look forward to anybody that would like to come out tomorrow.
First Horizon Park for the Sounds in Gwinnett tomorrow night. The first pitch is 6:35. The ceremony will begin shortly after 6 p.m. If you get a chance, go on out there. We'll go to the break. May not be a lot of trash talk when we come back, but there definitely will be some football. This is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2025 season. Create a summer of memories at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, and more. Tickets are on sale now.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. After that interception.
Let's get this turned around. And we're all saying, no, they don't.
Here.
You thought you were on your way.
Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Most people kind of put it out there a week ago that this was, which way do I go here? We're going that way. That last week was sort of a down week in college football after an enormous first week with a bunch of big matchups. Billy has put together a list of some of what's coming this Saturday, and he's left out one that's really interesting to me.
Your Haynes King obsession.
Yes, the Georgia Tech Clemson game. So, Kelly, I got the Clemson angle on it all from Jeff Francoeur earlier today, who says I'm wrong, that Clemson wins.
Well, I mean, listening to you though, Haynes King needs to go ahead and accept the Heisman Trophy in your eyes.
No, I'm not going that far. The kid is tough. He's Diego Pavia tough. The problem is he gets hurt.
Because Buster runs him too much.
Well,
I mean, we get call runs all the time from Buster. Like, he was the offensive coordinator here at Middle, and I think Logan Kilgore was the quarterback. They went down to Georgia Tech and beat Georgia Tech, and if only for the referees kept that game close. If not, Middle could have scored 70 on them that day. But he didn't run the quarterback. But now he's gotten to Georgia Tech, and he runs Haynes King like all over the place. And that's what people are doing now. But yeah, if your starter gets hurt nowadays, George, you're probably behind the 8 ball.
Let's go to the game at the bottom of the screen, South Florida, Miami. Kelly, I've had this thought that college football teams have a really hard time if they've got to play 3 doozies in a row. South Florida opened with Boise State, who's not as good as their name. They went to Florida and won, and now they got to go to Miami. Do they have the emotional juice left in the tank to pull this off?
I think South Florida's really good, George. I do. But from what I've seen from Miami, and I said it last week, they just like Mario Cristobal's built a team there that is good up front. It's like the Miami of old. And I think that's what he went there to do. I mean, that's his alma mater, and he won a national championship there. And he's got defensive linemen. He's got offensive line. He's got road graders on the offensive line. And they keep Carson Beck up. And the way he's playing right now, I don't think South Florida can do it again. I really don't.
The line there is 17.5, which is way too big. So even if you don't think South Florida wins, you could easily pick them to cover. I'm with you, Kelly, that beating Florida, that makes it tougher because Miami is not going to be sleeping on South Florida. Not that they would have, even if they wouldn't have beaten Florida, but that Notre Dame game showed me what Miami can be this year. And that's a physical team. Carson Beck looked like the best quarterback in the country. And
it was also the best we've ever seen him play.
Right. And that catch from their receiver was unbelievable. That this is the best Miami team I've seen in a long time.
So let's go to A&M Notre Dame, because Kelly, when push comes to shove, I don't believe A&M can go to South Bend and win. When I watch them talking about A&M, I see bits and pieces of really good, but I see an offense that sputters too often.
It's like Texas A&M, George. They've got so much money there, and we've talked about it. When Jimbo Fisher was there, they brought him in to win a national championship because they got the money to do it, but like they've never done it. So I think Notre Dame's pretty good in that first game. I mean, that was a tough game, and they lost, I think, by 3 to Miami at Miami. So I like their quarterback. I don't think Texas A&M can beat Notre Dame in South Bend. I really don't.
I don't either. And going back last year, Notre Dame beat A&M in College Station. That was a statement to begin the season. And if you remember, Connor Wigman started and played in that game for A&M. Marcel Reed did not. And, I like Marcel Reed. I think he's a great athlete. I think there's a little to be desired with his arm. But the matchup here is Marcus Freeman and his defense against Marcel Reed. And if I'm Marcel Reed, that doesn't sound a whole lot of fun. A little bit like, at Joey Aguilar facing Kirby Smart and Georgia's defense. And CJ Carr, we talk about Carson Beck in that Miami game. CJ Carr looked pretty good too. I mean, I think that kid is going to have a bright future and be the Notre Dame quarterback next year as well. He's still young, but Notre Dame's still got a ton of talent.
And then in Baton Rouge, which Florida team shows up? Is it a pissed off Florida, angry, determined to show the world that what went on a week ago is a fluke? Or is it one that's depressed that goes in there and gets their hat handed to them? I kind of think they're going to get their hat handed to them.
Yeah, but Billy Napier's kind of been the guy that you can't get a gauge on what he does. And I think LSU's really good this year. And we've talked about their experienced quarterback, but with them coming off that loss last week, it wouldn't surprise me if Florida steps up, but I don't think they can beat LSU at LSU.
This is either going to be really close or a bloodletting. I don't see an in between there. I just don't understand the Billy Napier experiment at Florida. I think it's last year he did save his job at the end of the season, but let's admit this thing's lasted too long. Florida is better than this, and they should expect better. Knowing this, he may go beat LSU in Baton Rouge. That would define his tenure there. But I'm with you, Joe. I'm not going to overthink this, and because the way Florida's playing right now, LSU should handle them.
Arkansas Ole Miss in the old days, they played on ESPN a 7 overtime game. I am not suggesting that happens here, but there's always something crazy.
These are wild games.
Yeah, when these two get together.
And look out here, Taylor Green and Arkansas have been playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
They've been rolling on offense. Now, they haven't played anybody. They played Arkansas State and Pine Bluff, I think. So I guess who else in Arkansas can they play that's directional?
UALR.
Well, yeah, UALR. But I mean, they're rolling with Bobby Petrino, and Ole Miss is down from last year. This is, Simmons. We talked about him struggling on Saturday against Kentucky. Keep an eye on the Razorbacks here.
It's a day to kick back, maybe with more than one television and a really good clicker that allows you to get 3 or 4 other games going. Plaster Bet of the Day is coming up, and I'll just say this before we go there. I'm on fire. You need to pay attention. This is 94. The Fan.
What a joke. What a joke.
Wait is over. The largest sports book in Kentucky is now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs. Feel the rush of every play in a venue built for sports fans. Catch all your favorite games with an 80-foot screen, stadium-style seating, and live daily broadcasts from VSiN, the sports betting network. Plus, download the Circa Sports Kentucky mobile app today and start betting like a pro anywhere in Kentucky. The largest sports book in Kentucky, Circa Sports, is now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV precision crafted for everything. Crafted to see more with an available ultra-wide pano moonroof, to go with your flow with available Google built-in, and to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision crafted performance. Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Experience the thrill at Gary Force Acura, proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. GaryForceAcura.com.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win back your life. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Brought to you by the Tennessee Gambling Clinic, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Final segment on a Wednesday, time now for Bet of the Day, brought to you by Bort Durham Injury Law. We take a look what happened last night, and it's true. George stayed hot with Philly.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Does that bother you to have to pick them, George?
Who, the Phillies?
Yeah.
Not now, it doesn't. Earlier in the year, it might have. But the horse got out of the barn like in late May, and I just have to be realistic about it. 2026 will be better than 2025 has been.
Okay.
Remember that.
Are you sure?
No, not totally. By the way, for what it's worth, I'm told that Brian Snitker is thinking about coming back, which is totally different than what I've been putting out there. That there is a shot that he's coming back to manage that team next year, which goes against what I have believed for months. So we'll talk about that with Danny tomorrow. Tonight, your winner is the San Diego Padres, who have gotten their clock cleaned by Cincinnati in the first 2 games of the series, but not tonight with Nick Pivetta, who has had a really good year. Kelly, put your house on it. It's going to work.
But it's not a book it.
No, absolutely not. No,
then why would I put my house on it?
Well, just so your armpits can sweat a little bit.
If I heard you say book it, I would definitely not put my house on it.
Yeah, whatever. Have a nice day. Tomorrow, underdog picks and Danny Evans, not necessarily in that order. See you tomorrow. Behave until then.